What's up, everybody? This week we are going to be doing something slightly different on this channel. No, it's not the fact that I'm actually sitting down and it's making me uncomfortable because I can't move around and gesticulate a lot. No, it's not the fact that I'm sitting between two plants and a window that's going to make my editor mad. It's none of that, but what it is I'm telling you how to save money this week. I am giving away the farm, so to speak. I am telling you how to sell your house by yourself without hiring a realtor. And that's gonna happen right after the intro. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ben Miller, and if you wanna know what it's like to eat, breathe, sleep, drink, DIY, everything Kansas City and abroad, you are on the right channel. And before we get into the meat, into the heart of the matter, do me a favor, hit that subscription and notification bell down at the bottom. And also, if you're really nice, it's right next to those buttons. Hit that like button. Don't smash it. I want you guys to attack it. I want you to find any foreign object you can find around your person, whether it's a pair of glasses or a remote control for your fan or a bow and arrow or a gun, whatever you can do, attack that like button so we can conquer the YouTube algorithm together, so I can launch straight to the top of the charts. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to reach out to me and get the inside scoop of what it's like here in Kansas City, if you need my assistance in any way, shape, or form, hit me up at area code 661-236-9055. And throughout this video, Josh will run my contact information. Won't you, Josh? That's what I pay you for. Better get to it. Josh will run all my information throughout the video as we go and discuss and get into the nitty-gritty of how to sell your house yourself. Now, before we launch into it, a little bit of a disclaimer. By the end of this video, some of you are gonna be like, oh, well, you didn't tell me exactly how to fill out the contract verbatim, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, because there's always naysayers out there. So I'm gonna give you as much of a deep dive as I possibly can in the length of a YouTube video. I don't wanna carry on for 30 minutes about the nuances of a contract or anything else. I'm going to give you the overarching ideas on how you can sell your house yourself. And the simple reason for that is you may be asking yourself, Ben, why do you want to give away the farm? Why do you want to give away our secrets? Some realtors may be asking. Well, it just goes to show you that I am not your typical realtor. I know what it's like to save money or to want to save money, especially on the biggest transaction of your life. So if I can help you guys accomplish that, then I've accomplished my goal as being a, let's say, out of the box thinking realtor. So let's get into it. Ben, give us a course on how we can sell our houses ourselves without paying some schmuck like you a 6% realtor fee. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is market your house. Pretty simple, right? Take a few pictures, throw up a description on Zillow, price the house, people come in, they write you a contract, woohoo! And then we do a barrel roll in money like Indecent Proposal. Was that a scene in that movie where they rolled in money? Anyways, don't look that up. It was a long time ago. Celebration occurs, you move on, life is easy, life is simple. Well, let's talk about the marketing aspect. That's the first thing you should do. So let's talk about pricing the house when it comes to marketing. What are you gonna price the house at? What is your house worth and how do you find out? Well, the first thing you do, most of you, because you guys have Google and Zillow and Realtor and all those kind of things, 98% of you are gonna go to the almighty Zestimate. I got some bad news. This is like delivering, the news when, in a hospital scene in a movie when somebody's gonna die, they always walk out and be like, sir, I've got some bad news. Well, folks, I've got some bad news. How do I put this? The Zestimate is full of shit because it's not right. And here's an example of how it's not right. My house is currently valued at X. Let's just say $300,000. The Zestimate on my house says $150,000. So between the actual price of my house from a recent appraisal, and again, this is all make believe, is $300,000, and my current Zestimate is $150,000. That's a $150,000 gap. That's crazy. And that is actually a true story. Now, not that those prices are right, but my house is currently valued at over $150,000 less than it actually is as it sits right here. And that's just one of many examples of how that Zestimate is completely wrong. Now, most people will look at this estimate and be like, oh my gosh, I had no idea my house is worth that much. Do not trust this estimate is what I'm trying to say. It is not an accurate price prediction of your house. However, you can use Zillow and Realtor to kind of get in the ballpark of what your house is worth. So, and the way you do that is going to the bottom of after you type in your address, you go to the bottom and it'll show you houses that have been listed and or sold in your region in the past, I think, 6 months. That way, by using how many bedrooms, how many baths, how much square foot, all that kind of stuff, comparing house to house from what's sold, you can kind of get a better idea of what your house is actually worth. Another thing that you can do to get the price of your house is you can talk to people that have recently call a real estate office if you've seen a sign in your neighborhood. Ask them what the houses are going for in that neighborhood. If it's a decent realtor who doesn't care about spending a few minutes of their time, they'll tell you how much houses have been selling in the neighborhood. Use all these tactics and you'll come up with a decent price for your house. Now, it may not be totally accurate what pricing structure really is though. All right, so you got the price knocked out. Boom! Now comes the almighty picture taking. I know a lot of realtors. I know a ton of realtors. And I've seen a ton of realtors, obviously, all across the country. And technically, right now, statistically, there are more realtors in the market than there are houses. And just as many realtors as there are in the market, there is just as many photographers. I know so many wedding photographers, so many amateur photographers, so many Instagram photographers, so many Facebook photographers, just so many photographers. And they're all, they're all fantastic. And I'm sure you're a great photographer as well. But let me tell you something, your photography skills do not match up when you're taking pictures of your house. I have seen so many times blurry pictures, so many blurry pictures. Clean your lenses, for God's sakes. If you're gonna use your camera phone, make sure it's a good camera, first of all. Make sure your resolution is set high on your camera. Make sure your lenses are clean and take some pictures. Don't try to get fancy. I know, listen, you wanna lay on the ground and take a shot of a hedge that, frames your house and you think you're an amazing photographer. Don't do that. Just stick with the basics. Take a picture of the front porch, take a picture of all the great things inside the house and move on. But if you really want to attract attention, just like a realtor would do, a good realtor, what you would have to do is hire somebody professionally. Hire a professional real estate photographer. I don't care what the value of the house is. I always hire a professional to do the pictures, because trust me, there is a night and day difference between me trying to be a photographer, or my best friend who's a wedding photographer trying to do it, and somebody who actually takes the time to take real estate pictures. And trust me, it's not as expensive as you think it is. So, got the price out of the way, got a good price going. Get some good pictures, please. Oh, and if you don't believe me, just go on Zillow or Realtor to your local FSBO section and you'll see exactly the type of pictures I'm talking about. Another step to the marketing puzzle, or another piece to the marketing puzzle, is going to be writing a description. Now, most people will know within 4 pictures whether they want to come and look at your house or not. But for those of us that would be on the fence after those 4 pictures, or maybe not quite sure, you're going to need a good description. You're going to need something that describes why you love the house, why I love my house. Explain to me the amenities, the things that make your house really great. Does it have a water softener, a whole house water softener that makes my hair extra soft and smooth when I take a shower? Does it have a jacuzzi tub? Does it have a tub at all? How are the neighbors? Are the neighbors friendly? Is there good schools in the area? Keep in mind, people want to know as much information as succinctly as possible in that description. Don't rattle on and on about how you love the turtles in the pond and why you've named each one of them. People aren't going to care about those details. Save that for when they come look at your house. But write the description like a story. Make people fall in love with the house. Because if they're on the fence about the pictures, push them over the edge. No, not literally push them over the edge, but convince them by writing a great description. There's your 3 pieces to marketing. Pricing, boom, check. Pictures, boom, check. Description, boom, check. So obviously the last and final piece to the marketing portion of this is putting it up on Zillow and putting it up on Realtor and Trulia. Don't put it up on Craigslist, because Craigslist is kind of a dying thing right now. You can try Facebook Marketplace. Wherever you buy products, post your house, if it's allowed, on those certain sites. You can do community forums. You can really try to think out of the box to market your house to the most people that you possibly can. Because without the reach to all the realtors in the area using the MLS, you're going to need to think out of the box to market your property. All right, so you got the property marketed. You got everything nailed down. It's on all the best websites, and now people are starting to call in. Now your phone is going to be ringing off the hook. Let me tell you now, if it's as nice as you think it is, if it's in as good of an area, and heck, even the bad houses and bad areas are getting phone calls. You're gonna get realtors calling you to try to list your house. You're probably gonna get a fair amount of spam calls from people from other areas inquiring about your house. So you're gonna have to field those calls. And you're also gonna get legitimate calls from people that want to see your house. Legitimate people that are like, man, house is great, tell me more about it. So that takes a little bit of time. Now, because you probably most likely work another job, or you have kids to take care of, or family commitments or whatever, just know that you're gonna have to set aside a lot of time to field those calls, and to also schedule people that wanna look at the house. How much time do you have in order to obviously field all these calls and to schedule out when is the best time for people to look at the house? And the more people that look at your house, the more likely you are to get a contract in your hands. So people are calling, now you've scheduled everybody, you feel good, you feel like you're balancing everything is falling into place, you're getting people to come look through your house. So let's talk about realtors that are bringing clients to your house. One thing that you're gonna need to decide early on is if you're willing to pay a buyer's agent commission of usually around 3% if that agent brings a client to buy your house. Or are you gonna make them pay the agent commission? Now, I would say, we all know you're looking to save money by doing it yourself, but maybe paying 3% is better. Obviously, it's a lot better than paying the full 6% to both seller and buyer agents. But maybe shelling out that 3% to a buyer agent could be a good idea, because realtors could bring you a lot of business. So it's just something to think about. So now you've got agents, everybody has come through, everything's working out beautifully, and here comes the contract. The most time-consuming, the most laborious part of selling your house by yourself is the contract process. Because up until this point, you saved quite a bit of money. You've spent a little bit on a photographer. You've spent a little bit here and there marketing the house, taking some good pictures, all that jazz. But now you've got a contract in your hands. And let me ask you a few important questions. What makes a good contract? Is it always the most money? What financial terms are you okay with as far as accepting a contract? Do you want somebody that can only afford 3% down, 5% down? What about somebody that offers you less money but puts 20% down? What contract is better? Is cash always the best? Is the lender on that contract local? Do you know how long it takes to close a house? What's the average time frame to close a house in your market? Is it okay to go with an online brokerage for the mortgage? What happens if there's some disruption in the process of your buyer getting that mortgage or getting that loan? These are all things that you're going to have to brush up on and get very familiar with very quick. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these contracts, you'll get a contract and it'll check all the boxes. It'll be a no-brainer contract, and then you can just sign it and move on. But it would behoove you to go to your local real estate commission and at least download a sample contract and become familiar with it. Because if you don't have an agent, you need to CYA. And that means cover your ass. This is the biggest transaction of your life, and you would be a fool if you just walked into it blind. So get familiar with the contracts before you get one. Now, I would highly recommend this, and I know you're trying to save money, but in order to make money, you gotta spend money. That's a rule of life. I would hire a lawyer. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, lawyers are expensive. I get it. I've hired lawyers before. I get it. Some lawyers go $200, $400, $500, $600 an hour to put on retainer. But trust me, it's a small price to pay if something gets screwed up in the contract process. And we all know if you've done any kind of purchase over something like $500 or more, Money makes people weird. Whenever you're dealing with high dollar value stuff, people start to lose their minds a little bit. And you need to set aside the time, and your lawyer needs to have the time to help you negotiate the contracts, to look over the contracts, but to also make sure that you're not going to lose your ass while everybody is losing their minds. So do yourself a favor. If you're going to get into it by yourself, protect your assets and get a lawyer. So we've taken care of the marketing. We've taken care of the people coming to see the house, and we've got a contract, and everything is good, and now we're under contract. So inspections, who's going to schedule the inspections? Is it the other side's job to schedule inspections? Is there inspection companies that are more reputable than others? Appraisals. You know, the bank, obviously, if most of the time you're going to get the person buying your house is going to get a mortgage. How long does the appraisal process take? What if something goes wrong in the appraisal process? What if something goes wrong in the inspection process? Are you comfortable negotiating your own terms? And some of you are going to stand up and say, yeah, Ben, I can do all this by myself. Congratulations, because I know that before I became a realtor, I don't have the time to do any of that stuff. Like I said, I've got family obligations, I've got a job to work, I've got all these other things to worry about other than negotiating contracts, pricing, legal stuff, showings, all this other stuff. I've got much, much more work in my life to do than to try to effectively sell a house. So now when you're looking at the grand scheme of things, hiring a lawyer, taking good pictures, writing, all the stuff that I've went over, is 6% really all that much money? Is 6% really not worth it to you still? Even if I told you that statistically, people that hire realtors get 20% more for their house than if they would have done it themselves. So if you're really doing a cost-benefit analysis, the answer is pretty clear. You can do it yourself and try to save some money, or you can hire a realtor and do it right the first time. Now I get it. I know what you're saying. Well, damn it, Ben, you hornswoggled me. No, I gave you the tips on how to do it yourself. But sometimes at the end of the day, it's better to hire a real professional than it is to do it yourself. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you want to hit me up, it's area code 661-236-9055. If you want a realtor in the Kansas or Missouri area to sell your house for you, I'd be more than happy to give you a free chat if you want, so I can maybe even give you more information on how you can sell your house yourself. It doesn't bother me at all, because eventually it's all going to come back. Now you can also hit me up on social media. I'm really not on social media anymore, so it's Wrestling with Real Estate on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. Or you can email me at benmiller@kansascityhomes.com. Now, I may not be a realtor for too much longer because they're going to kick me out for giving you guys all this inside info, but that's okay. I'm not your typical realtor, and I love making real estate dreams happen for people all across the country. So with that, I bid you goodbye. And the next time I see you, hopefully next week, we'll be getting into some more juicy real estate topics. I'm Ben Miller. I'm putting the real back in real estate. And we'll see you next time on Wrestling with Real Estate, brother.